Peking duck, the royal dish that ruled imperial feasts. In the annals of Chinese culinary history, few dishes are as revered, as steeped in tradition, and as iconic as Peking duck. This golden, crispy-skinned delicacy has graced the tables of emperors and delighted commoners alike, becoming a symbol of Chinese culinary mastery. But beyond its legendary status, the story of Peking duck is one of ancient origins, royal indulgence, and a legacy that has withstood the test of time. Our journey begins in the vast and fertile plains of northern China, centuries ago. To understand the origins of Peking duck, we must first look at the central role that ducks have played in Chinese culture and cuisine. Ducks, native to China, have been domesticated for millennia, serving as a staple source of meat, eggs, and even feathers. The ancient Chinese valued the bird for its rich, fatty meat, which was well suited to roasting, an early method of cooking that gave birth to one of the world's most famous dishes. The history of Peking duck, however, truly begins to take shape during the Yuan Dynasty, 1271 to 1368, when the Mongol Empire ruled China. During this time, culinary practices from various regions and ethnic groups merged, creating a melting pot of flavors and techniques. It was in the royal kitchens of the Yuan court that the foundations of Peking duck were laid. The method of roasting duck over an open flame, which would later become integral to the dish, was developed here, combining traditional Chinese methods with the influences brought by the Mongols. As the Yuan dynasty gave way to the Ming Dynasty, 1368 to 1644, the art of Peking duck flourished. It was during this period, in the bustling capital of Nanjing, that the first recorded mention of roasted duck appeared in a cookbook, marking a turning point in its development. The Ming emperors, particularly the Yongle Emperor, were known for their extravagant feasts and appreciation for fine food. Peking duck became a favorite at the imperial court, with its unique preparation and presentation elevating it to a dish of unparalleled sophistication. The dish Relocation to Beijing, then known as Peking, came in the early 15th century when the Yongle Emperor moved the capital from Nanjing to Beijing. This move not only changed the political landscape but also set the stage for the dish to become synonymous with the city itself. The imperial kitchens in Beijing refined the art of Peking duck, perfecting the technique that would define the dish for generations to come. One of the most critical innovations during the Ming Dynasty was the development of a specialized breed of duck, the Peking duck. These ducks, raised in the countryside outside of Beijing, were fed a special diet of grain, and their controlled upbringing ensured they developed tender, flavorful meat with a perfect layer of fat. This fat, crucial to the dish's success, rendered during the roasting process, creating the crisp, lacquered skin that is the hallmark of Peking duck. But it was not just the ducks themselves that set the dish apart, it was the meticulous preparation. To achieve the signature crispy skin, the duck was first inflated by blowing air between the skin and the flesh. This separated the skin, allowing it to roast to perfection without becoming soggy. The duck was then blanched in boiling water, coated in a glaze of maltose syrup, and left to dry for several hours or even overnight. This drying process was essential for achieving the shiny, caramelized skin that would later crackle under the chef's knife. The roasting of the duck was an art form in itself. Traditionally, the bird was roasted in a special wood-fired oven, with fruitwood, such as peach or datewood, used to impart a delicate, smoky aroma to the meat. The duck was suspended in the oven, allowing the heat to circulate evenly around the bird, ensuring that every inch of the skin became golden and crisp. Timing was crucial, as the duck had to be cooked long enough to render the fat, but not so long that the meat would dry out. Once roasted, the presentation of the duck became a performance. At traditional Peking duck restaurants, chefs would bring the bird to the table and, with expert precision, carve it into thin slices. The first few slices were always of the prized crispy skin, which was dipped in sugar or a special sauce and savored on its own. The remaining slices, consisting of both skin and tender meat, were served with thin pancakes, scallions, and a sweet bean or hoisin sauce, allowing diners to create their own wraps, a perfect balance of texture and flavor in every bite. Peking duck was no longer just a dish, it was a culinary experience, one that transcended the meal itself and became a symbol of Chinese hospitality, pride, and mastery in the kitchen. As the Ming Dynasty transitioned into the Qing Dynasty, 1644 to 1912, Peking duck continued to thrive, solidifying its place as the emperor's favorite dish. The Qing emperors, known for their opulent banquets and deep appreciation for food, ensured that Peking duck remained a central feature at royal feasts. The dish's popularity spread beyond the confines of the palace walls, and it soon became a staple at upscale restaurants in Beijing. By the late 19th century, the first public Peking duck restaurants had opened, offering this once exclusive delicacy to the masses. One of the most famous establishments was Bianyafang, which opened in 1416 and remains a revered institution to this day. Bianyafang introduced a new roasting method, known as the closed oven technique, where the duck was cooked in a sealed oven using the residual heat from burning straw. This method produced a more tender duck, with a slightly different texture than the traditional open oven method used at another legendary restaurant, Quanjude. Quanjude, founded in 1864, perfected the open oven roasting technique, which used fruitwood to create a distinct flavor profile. The two methods, open and closed, have since become hallmarks of different styles of Peking duck, each offering its own unique experience to diners. As the 20th century dawned, Peking duck continued to evolve, spreading its influence beyond China's borders. Chinese immigrants introduced the dish to the world, and it became a beloved feature in Chinese restaurants globally. In the West, Peking duck has been embraced as a symbol of Chinese culinary excellence, with its complex preparation and sumptuous presentation captivating food lovers from New York to London. Today, Peking duck remains a beloved dish both in China and abroad. In Beijing, it continues to be a must-try delicacy for visitors, who flock to restaurants like Quanjude and Bianyafang to taste this centuries-old masterpiece. The dish has also evolved with modern tastes, with chefs experimenting with new flavors, cooking techniques, and presentations while honoring the time-honored traditions that have made Peking duck an enduring favorite. The story of Peking duck is a testament to China's rich culinary heritage, a dish that has transcended its humble beginnings to become a global symbol of Chinese gastronomy. From the imperial kitchens of the Ming Dynasty to the bustling streets of modern Beijing, Peking duck's journey is one of innovation, refinement, and enduring appeal. As diners savor the crisp, golden skin and tender meat, they are not just enjoying a meal, they are partaking in a centuries-old tradition that has delighted emperors, captivated chefs, and inspired food lovers around the world. In the end, the origins of Peking duck tell the story of a dish that is far more than the sum of its parts. It is a narrative of history, culture, and culinary mastery, a dish that has become a living symbol of China's deep and enduring connection to food.